All right, so we've got our targets in each of our locations, and we've got our they're in all of our different locations, and we've got our plane animated along our path. But we want to have some time at each spot to have an image come up. And so if we keep it the way the plane is, it's just going to continue to fly in the path. We need to actually stop for a second in each path. So how are we going to do that? Especially when the plane is automatically set with our keyframes. We've got our start keyframe here and our end keyframe over here. Now, I've already made some adjustments to how long my target is and to my sequence. I had to extend my sequence out a little bit for what we're about to do, and I shortened this. I shortened our targets up a little bit, so I know where they're starting and ending. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look. So our plane position, we want it to stop right here. So let's find out where that is. That's right there. Okay, and this keyframe right here is right there. Is right there. Okay, so I want this keyframe basically to be right here. Well, that's pretty simple. I can click this circle and it turns into a keyframe, and I can just slide it over to there. Okay, so now what we've got is this. The plane comes up, and it just doesn't fade off till right away. So I need to adjust this fade. Goodbye. Okay, so now it comes in, it comes into land. Boom. And then of course it continues on. Well, because I know that, I'm going to bring this keyframe, because I know this keyframe is going to be the first one here. It's going from here to there. So I'm going to take this keyframe and click it and move it. I'm going to move it over here. Okay, now it's still moving, slower, but it's still moving. So it's select our keyframe here where it lands. We're going to Command C to copy that. Jump out to where it ends, where my animation ends. Say right there. Command V to paste it. And now all of a sudden it's taking off again. Boom. But we can't see our animation of our plane. The scale's not going anywhere. So let's copy those for a second. Actually, we'll just copy all of this. Control C or Command C, Command V, just like that. Now it's back up and back down again. But of course, bring it up like that. We probably don't need two keyframes here. We'll just bring one up and down. So up, down. And that one probably won't even have to get very big. So let's cut that in half. It's a quick up and down puddle jumper. It's a smaller plane also. Boom. All right. Now, these keyframes are still going out. So let's see here what's going on. You can see it's traveling up. The plane's traveling up the Pacific Coast Highway. And that is the keyframe, this last keyframe right here. That is where it takes off from. So let's move it out here. And really, I don't need it to take off till this point. So we're going to bring this all the way out like so. Because we don't need to see this plane until right here. I'm going to move these all the way out here. And there it goes. And boom. And we're back. So let me shut off. If I deselect that, let's see what we've got. Lands. Lands. Travels up. Not bad at all. Perfect. Let me add a new solid over here, over the map, just to hide it a little bit. And not to really hide it, but okay, so now at each one of these points, I'm going to have a photo come in and scale up. So let's go ahead here and grab one of our photos. First thing up, images. Let's see here. Rafting is going to be the first one up. So I'm going to bring this in right there. And let's go ahead and pre-compose this. So pre-compose. I'm going to call this image 1. And we're going to scale this thing down. And let's go ahead and come in here for a second. Let's edit our image. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this down, like so. Solid. And maybe this has a black border or something. Okay. And let's go ahead and with that selected, let's go ahead and make a picture frame. Travel map. There we go. There's our picture frame. So let's go ahead and we can make this okay. Yeah, that looks better. Now we're going to take this image and we are going to scale this up. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up like this, and I'm going to move my anchor tool. I want my anchor tool to be right where this ends. So we can just take this move anchor point, grab the center, and drag it down like so. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this here. And so now we are going to go ahead and let's take our image, just kind of move it out for now. Out there, image, like so. And we'll drop the scale from, well, let's move it out to, and I'm going to bring my scale down to 0. And then let's go ahead, you know what, we're going to make this, let's see what happens if I change this to a 3D point. And actually right here, I'm just going to go ahead and scale that down. Okay, so it's coming up and down. But I want to add a little bit of rotation to this thing, just because I can. So I'm going to rotate the Y on this. So if I rotate the Y, which is this one right here, move it back a little bit, like so. And I'm going to move it back this way. That went minus 23, so let's go a positive 15. Let's see what that looks like. It's kind of cool. And we'll do one more thing with this. We're going to go ahead and add a drop shadow. So we're going to come up here, whoops, into our, I just shut the window off. Effects, controls. Effects, controls, there we go. Effect, perspective, let's add a drop shadow. And let's just jump out where we can see it. Distance. And we'll blur it out a little bit. Yeah, just like so. Okay. Now let's do that for each single image that we're working on. So we'll go ahead back to project. Our next one is going to be Santa Monica Pier. And you know what? I'm going to take this image, since I already have everything I like on that. I'm going to take that that composition, or the pre-comp right here. Command C, Command V, image 2. Let's do it one more time. Command C, Command V, image 3. Now I'm going to down here in my timeline, I'm going to hit duplicate, which is Command D. I'm going to bring this image, since we already have all of our animations there, we're going to move it over and just slide it in like that. Just like that, right? Alright, that looks good. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. See all of our animations there too. Move it right on out. So 1, 2, 3, right? So this is technically image 1, image 1, image 1. I'm going to teach you another shortcut. So our first image is great, but our second image is supposed to be image 2. Well, if I have my image, this layer selected that I want, in my timeline, and by holding down, let me say this again. So we've got our image in the timeline selected. We hold down Alt, we select the image from our project panel, or the item from our project panel that we want. Now just drag it down into anywhere in your timeline. It doesn't matter. You can just drop it like that and let it go. Look what happens. Now, image 1, image 2, right? Hit U, show our effects. Our effects are still there. Let me show you what happens here. Image 2, I'm going to click on image 2, and I'm going to replace this image. And this time I'm actually going to do it again, but this time with the actual image. So I'm going to say we want Santa Monica, right? So I'm going to hold on that one. Rafting is what we want to get rid of. Hold on Alt, grab Santa Monica, bring it in here, drop it. Now, it says its scale is 103. So we're going to have to scale this up even further. You know, because our images are different sizes. That makes sense, right? I might even change my composition size too. So let's go ahead and composition settings. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit wider. Oops. And of course, it's going to stretch out on me, but that's all right. Go back to travel map. So now I've got this. That's of course not in the right spot, so we need to move it. So change our position. And I am going to grab the X. And of course the Y. And just like that. So now we've got alright, let's take a look at scale for a second. We're scaling up to 23%. And this last image was about that big. It's about right, I guess it's about the same size. If we wanted to, we could scale this as a little bit smaller. Let's go say about 18. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let's do it one more time, this time with image 3. So now let's see what we've got going on. Plane takes off. Hey, we're in Grand Canyon. Then we go to Santa Monica. Then we drive up the Pacific Coast Highway. Get to San Francisco. And we fly back home. Just like that, we've created a quick travel map. It's kind of fun to watch. We could even add some text in here as well. Say, right here, say my travel west. Make it pop a little bit more. Looks great. And then, of course, we'll animate the text quick. We'll just bring that on. Animate. Let's animate just the opacity of it. So we'll say opacity. And range selector. We'll say end. Turn the opacity down. There we go. And I'm going to say end. And we're going to go into 1, 2, like so. Just like that. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to move my travel west behind my images just to give it a little bit more of a perspective. Say fit to frame. And just like that. So you can tweak this as much as you'd like, but go ahead and create this, and once you're done, go ahead and we'll export this using using the media encoder in Adobe.